The Paralympic Games is also about transforming our perception of the world. We are all different. There is no such thing as a standard or run-of-the-mill human being, but we share the same human spirit.
At the opening ceremony of the 2012 London Paralympic Games, Stephen Hawking's words came out with a huge fireball falling from the sky over the stadium. Have you ever watched through one Paralympic Games? Do you know what competition it has? How are they different from Olympics? On July 29, 1948, the Olympic Games, which had been suspended due to World War II, revived in London. On the same day, a sports meeting was held in a hospital in South Central England, with the participation of 16 World War II veterans with spinal cord-related injury. Ludwig Gadaman, a neurology professor who organized the sports meeting, he insisted on introducing sports to disability treatment, believing that it would not only increase the physical strength of patients, but also their self-confidence. He's also known as the father of Paralympics. It wasn't until 1960 that more than 400 athletes from 23 countries held the first Paralympic Games in Rome. The Paralympic Games have developed to the second largest sports event. Paralympics is thought to be a combination of paralyzed and Olympics. Actually, the word here is parallel to indicate that they are equally important. This is a comparison between the real 2016 Paralympic Games and the Olympic Games. The Paralympic Games are much smaller than the Olympic Games in terms of countries, numbers of athletes, and competition events. Initially, participation was limited to wheelchair users, but today the venues are equipped with barrier-free elevators, restroom, and bike tracks, realizing barrier-free for disabled. We're eager to give the same attention to the Paralympics. However, the news I can recall about the Paralympics was 20 years ago, and it was a scandal. In 2000 Sydney Paralympics, the Spanish basketball team arranged several athletes without any physical and intellectual disabilities to pretend to be mental disability athletes, and the coach reminded them not to play all out. However, being bad actors, they crushed their opponents and won the championship. The International Paralympic Committee had to cancel all intellectual disability events and subject all participants to multiple tests and classifications. The scandal has certainly changed the Paralympic Games. To avoid a similar incident of cheating, in November 2007, the International Paralympic Committee carefully graded each of the 28 sports and established strict competition standards. All athletes are required to undergo a medical evaluation before competing. Today's basketball programs are composed of players with lower limb amputation, polio, and spinal injuries competing in wheelchairs. Before the game, they'll be medically graded according to their athletic abilities and degree of disability into A scores, with the lower number, the more severe the disability. The total number of points for 5 players on the court for each team cannot exceed 14 points. There are also events classified according to disability. In the women's 400-meter T11 final in Rio Paralympic Games, China's Liu Cuiqing, wearing a blindfold and connected to her leader runner with a tow rope, won the title with an overwhelming advantage over other runners after starting gun. Liu Cuiqing is in T11 level. T is short for track. The first number 1 refers to visual disability. The second number 1 indicates the degree of disability. There are 3 levels of visual disability, and the smaller the number, the greater the degree. That means Liu is nearly totally blind. There are T2 intellectual impairments and T3 cerebral palsy, T4 short stature and physical disability, and T5 spinal cord injury. Table tennis, for example, is divided into 3 groups: wheelchair, standing, and mentally handicapped, with 5 levels in each. Wheelchair, a competition designed specifically for people with cerebral palsy. Swimming, a special competition, is the only one in which all athletes with all types of disabilities are eligible to participate. The Rio 2016 Paralympic Games have 152 subcategories for 600 swimmers, and in each, no athlete has the same level of disability. This is men's 50-meter freestyle S3 preliminaries, and the athlete from Namibia is pushing on in the pool, while all others have reached the finish line. Why does he swim so slowly but compete with other swimmers on the same stage? Paralympic swim events are divided into S, SB, and SM. S, for example, is also divided into 10 levels from S1 to S10. An S3 level refers to athletes with severe coordination problems or severe limb shortage or high limb amputation. In this S1 level competition, or athletes according to the rules have severe coordination problems or severely limited motor function in their extremities. Their legs, torso, and hands are easily, and they can only rely on their shoulders to generate power. So Namibia play was placed in S3 according to rules. Every sport in Paralympics is different from the Olympics, but the athletes all share the same dream. This is where heroes are born. However, where there are heroes, there will be controversy. In the Paralympic Games, many athletes need the support of technology. The introduction of high technology has blurred the lines between the Paralympics and the Olympics, with achievements even surpassing those of the Olympics. Sprinter, for example, Oscar Pistorius is known as Blade Runner because his custom carbon fiber prosthesis has helped him win 3 Paralympic Games. It was tested and found to reduce energy expenditure by 25% in running. The prostheses will undergo rigorous testing to meet various criteria to qualify for the competition. For example, athletes shouldn't exceed the maximum standing height after wearing them. BMW has designed a racing wheelchair specifically for American athletes, which is said to reduce air resistance by 10 to 15%. Strict rules have been set by the International Paralympic Committee, such as racing wheelchairs should have at least 2 large wheels. We can't see the hard work and dedication of each athlete. They are there to beat themselves through their own efforts. Why shouldn't they run faster, jump higher, and throw farther than healthy? Instead of arguing on the field, let go of your vision and look off the field. In the 19th century, the birth of a child with a disability was considered a sign of bad luck. From a prosthetic leg made of wood to a bionic prosthesis with sense of touch. From a wheelchair weighing tens of kilograms and requiring hands to roll to a wheelchair can be remotely controlled by consciousness. Our lives have been changed and perfected by technology. It makes disabilities no longer a defect and organically combines machine and flesh, so that the disabled can live as easily as the healthy. However, they broke through many obstacles and proudly show their different beauty on the field, reminding us that imperfection is also a kind of beauty. On August 24th, the Tokyo Paralympic Games will have its opening ceremony. We should pay more attention to games whether we go to a field or watch them on TV, and making real Paralympics. In this post-epidemic era, the Paralympic Games should be an event for all of humanity. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy it.